the productive guys in the lineup.
Yeah, you know, it's really nice to see the middle of that order pick up the slack. Now, if they'd have gotten a little bit more production like this in April, oh, they may be at the top of the league. But this is exactly what you're looking for in the middle of your order. Guys that can deliver. Your Hosmer, Salvi, those guys, I'm telling you, are really important for this lineup here. But you make any mistakes on Salvi, even though he's due, I like the fact that he went to the opposite field 3 times. Now we know what Moose does with mistakes, and that win last night was a huge win for the Royals, and their comeback and the fact that they didn't give up was a beautiful thing.
It was a 9-7 win for the Royals. That score is very unlikely tonight with our pitching matchup. We'll get into that when we come back. Academy Sports and Outdoors for all for less. This just happened moments ago. This is Dallas Keuchel walking back to the Astros dugout instead of warming up in the bullpen to get ready for tonight.
Highly unusual. I mean, you never see this. So we don't know if he threw a pitch, he hurt something. We don't know if he's sick or what. But I know A.J. Hinch, his manager, is scrambling, and he went over and talked to Ned. Ned's going to scramble and might have to redo his lineup.
And what we do know is that this is right-hander Diane Diaz, who made 6 relief appearances for the Cincinnati Reds last year, 1 relief appearance for the Astros earlier this year. So in a flash, he's going from hanging out in the bullpen to watch Dallas Keuchel to making his first big league start.
Yeah, and you know, what a break for the Royals. This is beautiful. Are you kidding me? You got the leading ERA king in all of baseball shutting down. Oh, I hope the Royals can mop this guy up.
When we come back, Joel and Monty will talk about Jason Vargas, who did finish his warm-up tosses.
facing Diamondbacks Diaz, who they've never gone up against before, just 7 big league games. Jason Vargas on the other side, now not going up against Dallas Keuchel. What's going through his mind right now?
Well, really nothing should change. Jason Vargas had a game plan against the Astros lineup. He's going to see that same lineup. The Royals hitter's got to make a lot of changes, but for Jason Vargas, it's the same thing he was going to do before this game started. That's go out, use his defense like he's done so effectively. Got 4 double plays in his last outing. Love to see something tonight.
Well, it was supposed to be Keuchel, the ERA leader in baseball, versus Vargas, second ERA. But now, Ramon Torres set to make his big league debut against Diamondbacks Diaz, who will get his first big league start.
City is brought to you by the Missouri Lottery. Every ticket played gives back to Missouri schools, so play it forward with the Missouri Lottery. By Menards, save big money at Menards on all your home improvement needs. And by Ford, going further so you can. Dallas Keuchel scratched because of an illness, but Jason Vargas will pitch for the Royals. He is coming off of his 7th career shutout.
It's just great to be able to put you guys in an adrenaline rush and have a nice game out here. We turned some unbelievable double plays. The defense kept bailing me out.
Escobar, are they going to turn another one?
Look at that beautiful play there, and Vargas saying thank you.
Back to Vargas.
He goes the distance and shuts out the Indians.
Tucker Vargas making a house call at the K. It doesn't get any better than that.
But this place was rocking with the Royals coming back down by 6 in the bottom of the 4th inning and winning 9-7 to even the series with the Astros. And even in losing their 11-game winning streak last night, the Astros scored 7 runs, so they now scored 6 or more runs in 9 consecutive games. That's the longest streak for them since they joined the American League. They've also hit a home run in 14 consecutive games. And for the 2nd time this year, they will face Jason Vargas. Vargas coming off his 12th career complete game, his 7th career shutout. That was Friday against the Indians, and that 2.08 ERA is the 2nd best in the major leagues.
Sure is. And you know, 54 strikeouts, that's a lot for a guy that tops out at 88 miles an hour. He keeps guys off balance very well. He knows how to pitch. And let's talk about what a great athlete he is. Fields his position extremely well. Now, doesn't have a Gold Glove like Keuchel, who's had the last 3, but Keuchel's a non-issue tonight. Just got scratched. Fun to watch Vargy pitch.
And all we're hearing right now is that he was scratched because of an illness. Keuchel's been on the disabled list this year with a pinched nerve in his neck. He was on the disabled list last year with a shoulder problem, but it's neither one of those. An illness. Big curveball, and it's inside to Springer. 2 balls and 1 strike. Fouled it off of his foot. 2 balls and 2 strikes. I remember when the Royals went to Houston in the first week of the season, and we were thinking, is this the right timing? A left-hand pitcher against the Astros, Minute Maid Park, all those right-hand batters. Well, in Jason Vargas' first start, this was the preview of things to come. He held the Astros to 1 run in 6 innings with 6 strikeouts.
Yeah, he was very impressive in that performance, regardless of whether the Astros were hot or not.
Big slow curveball, 72 miles an hour, and he got Springer to chase it out of the strike zone. 1 away in the top of the 1st.
Forward around the horn, Royals defense. Ramon Torres. Congratulations, young man. He's getting his first big league start. Omaha had some starts at shortstop and second base. He's got adequate range, really good hands, can play shortstop or second, and he's got a tremendous throwing arm. And he's got a good idea. He's a switch hitter.
Line to center, but not hit very hard. Kane stumbled a bit in pursuit of that ball, but it just kind of died as it made its way into center, and Reddick is on with 1 out. Now Kia puts us in the driver's seat, and going back to Vargas's start on Friday, his shutout against the Indians, and the fly ball pitcher was actually a ground ball pitcher. 18 ground outs, 4 double plays in 1 game for Vargas.
It was extremely impressive at 2 hours and 19 minutes. It was great to see. I mean, that was a wonderful baseball game to watch. We're looking forward to seeing if Vargas can repeat. Typically a fly ball pitcher, though, like you mentioned, but you know what? Doesn't really matter. Outs are outs, no matter how you get them. And when you have a defense like the Royals, that have a .991 team fielding percentage, the best in Major League Baseball, bring it on.
1 ball, 1 strike. Jose Altuve, who didn't do anything against the Royals in Houston, is 3 for 7, 3 for 8 as he tries to bunt for a base hit. Hosmer tags him out. Reddick goes to second, and there are 2 down.
Thank you very much.
So here's what HUD was talking about, our Academy Sports and Outdoors leaderboard. Best fielding percentage in the major leagues, .991. That is 19 errors. 19 errors in their first 56 games.
And the Rockies won again today. They beat Cleveland. They're playing good baseball.
A lot of curveballs to the Astros in the first inning. Ball one to Carlos Correa.
Very few Astros in the lineup have faced Vargas very many times. Reddick has the most at bats, 32.
Fastball up and away, 2 balls, no strikes. Great spot. Fastball at the knees, right over the inside edge. Correa talks it over with home plate umpire Doug Eddings.
When Vargas is on his game, this is where he's located. All parts of the plate besides the middle. Looked like he got that one. Home plate umpire Doug Eddings. Thank you.
Another curveball. You know, the thing about Vargas, compared to most pitchers have pretty much the same pitch breakdown. It's just a matter of how good they are that night. Vargas's pitch breakdown, as far as percentage of pitches, it changes from start to start.
It does. How about an inside fastball here? Come in on him. Jam him. Ground ball third base. Ooh, wow. Nice pitch there. Yeah. Vargas, anything goes. I thought maybe he could mix in a changeup there too. It's a hitter's count. I thought Correa would be ready to hit. Now 3-2 count. He's looking to hit fastball. They've hit 309 off of it. Changeup's been his most effective pitch, no question about it.
Great spot. And now Correa is really mad with Doug Eddings.
He thought it was high.
Vargas strikes out 2 and gets around the Reddick 1-out single.
Doesn't matter, Correa. You got to go.
Not to change his original lineup after Dallas Keuchel was scratched for a right-hander. So Mike Moustakas still the designated hitter. No Alex Gordon in the lineup tonight. Cheslor Cuthbert will be at third, and batting ninth, making his big league debut, Ramon Torres. And here he is, Dayan Diaz, 28 years old, from Colombia, making his first major league start and his 8th major league appearance.
Okay, there it is. He's got a decent fastball. Low 90s, two-seamer, four-seamer, slider, occasional change-ups. Decent velocity. It's a report I got on him.
0-2 on Witt.
Already got his pitch breakdown. Fastball, slider change. 71%. Ooh, man, and look what the opponents are hitting. 409. Try to wipe your mouth from the slobber coming out of it if you're on deck right now. This guy, you got to love facing him and not Keuchel. Be ready. Grip and rip. Now, the only changes Ned would have possibly made.
Ooh. Stayed with the fastball.
Or maybe Gordon, inserting Gordon or Moss back out there. But, you know, Ned probably just said, hey, we're going to get this guy regardless. And there it was. Good pitch. Right on the bottom part of the plate. Low to mid-90s. Astros defense. Diaz was recalled from the minors today. So he was already expected to pitch. He was just got into town. So the timing was perfect. Although you wonder what is wrong with Keuchel. Fastballs, look him up.
Fouled away by Bonifacio. Well, no matter what Diaz does tonight, good, bad, mediocre, A.J. Hinch's bullpen is already involved in this game because he has not thrown more than 49 pitches this year. 1-1 on Bonifacio. So Diaz is making his first major league start tonight. He's also only making his 13th career professional start. 232 minor league games in his career and only 12 starts. So this isn't a guy who's used to starting and was going to be used out of the bullpen, and he just shifts back to the starter's role. He's only made one start since 2014 at any level.
That'll rock a manager's world when you lose your starting pitcher when he's warming up. Doesn't happen all that often, but it's happened before. But so far, he's thrown fastballs on every pitch. The Royals are a fastball hitting machine. Even though they haven't seen a lot of fastballs this year, they love the heater. So if they can jump on a few of them early, that would be nice for Vargy.
Right field, Springer is in right, at least to start the game in right, and makes a play, 2 down. This is the best defensive outfield for A.J. Hinch, and it's what he's gone to in the later innings of the first 2 games of the series. Reddick, Marisnick, and Springer. A.J. started Nori Aoki in left field in the first 2 games, but with leads late in the first 2 games, he has brought in Marisnick into center and moved the other 2.
You see Gary Pettis to the manager's left. He's runs the outfielders. He's moving them left and right, and we know they shift a lot. So outfielders are trained to pick up your coach, just like the Royals are with Rusty Kuntz. Infielders for the Astros, Richie Dower, former big league second baseman and Royals coach.
2-0 on Kane. Gary Pettis won 5 Gold Gloves in his big league career.
Fantastic baseball player.
And he could run. Really run. Two and 0 on Kane. Looks at a strike. 0 for 9 so far in the series.
They got Locane playing over in right center. Marisnick, center fielder. He's over.
2-2.
So you study films and prepare like these guys do nowadays for a left-hander. And you get word maybe 10 minutes before the game that they change pitchers. They're saying, oh, really? Okay, who's this guy? Right-hander. Oh, what's he got? Dale Swaim knows. He's got the book of knowledge there on every pitcher they have. So do a little quick study, go up and react.
Still 2-2.
Sometimes that's the best way. Even for Diaz, he wouldn't expect him to start this game. His first big league start. Things happen like that. Sometimes it's good. He didn't have a chance to sit around the hotel this morning and get nervous and come to the ballpark early. So there are advantages to things that happen like this in baseball. Because of the anxiety.
That'll be back into the crowd. Ramin Gudwan, the lefty we saw in the first 2 games of the series, was sent to the minor leagues to make room for Diaz. This is his 12th professional season. He has really hung in there. 12 professional seasons, and this is just his 8th major league appearance. Just inside. Didn't hit the target. McCann was set up outside, but McCann thought it was still a strike, and he held it out there for Doug Eddings. And it wasn't a strike.
Okay, and seeing some pitches here. 3-2. Expected fastball. That was either a backup slider or a changeup. I couldn't sure about his grip.
Came at him with a fastball. Bregman plays it at third, so Diaz's first inning is a 1-2-3 inning. Scooter Gennett, 4 home runs in Cincinnati last night. Just the 17th time in Major League history that one player has hit 4 home runs in a game. He becomes the first to have 5 hits and 10 or more RBIs in a 4 home run game. And he also ties Mark Whitten as having the fewest home runs before hitting a 4 home run game. Merrifield's out in left, and Beltran takes him to the corner. 1 pitch, 1 out for Vargas to begin the 2nd inning.
This game of baseball is so beautiful. You could put 200 hitters on a piece of paper and say, all right, one of these guys is going to hit 4 home runs tonight. Who's it going to be? you wouldn't even chose him. He may not even have been on the list, Scooter Gennett. That's how beautiful our game is. You never know what we're going to see tonight. Love it.
Brian McCann with one out. He played in game 1 on Monday and had a 2-run home run and scored 3 runs. And that's well hit to center.
Sure is.
Kane all the way back. And Brian McCann homers again in the series. That's his 8th of the year.
Man, you could tell by the sound he got all that. Now, home run he hit last night, or was that in game 1? Yeah, in game 1. It looked a lot rougher than this one. This is a little bit easier, a little purer swing, but that's looked like a breaking ball up or a fastball. Wasn't sure exactly what it was there, but it ain't coming back.
Now a strike to Gurriel. He's got a level swing. I mean, he really, I would say, stays through the hitting zone for a long time. Gurriel off the end of the bat, but able to muscle it into center field. Gurriel's had a big series. He's driven in 5 in the first 2 games.
That was a fastball that McCann hit out.
That was just the 6th home run allowed by Jason Vargas in over 70 innings. Trying to get a ground ball in a double play, and he misses low to Alex Bregman. Reverse splits, meaning lefties should be better against left-hand batters, but Vargas is better against righties, so thus reverse splits. He's thrown a lot of curveballs tonight, and that's a strike to Bregman.
He's made mistakes against left-handed batters, he told me. I asked him about the splits. He says, I'm missing. And when you're not overpowering lefty on a lefty, you miss, they'll hit you. So it's not like he's, throwing 95 miles an hour.
Downstairs again, 2 balls, 1 strike.
And he's used to facing right-handers. He has a book on righties.
Another curve. 2 balls, 2 strikes. And the thing about Vargas, you try and put a lineup together against him in his career, and take your pick. I mean, he really balances righties and lefties well. There's really no significant difference. So this is really the first time where, and by the way, he's getting hit by lefties this year, but he's also quite a bit better against righties. So the splits are kind of heading in opposite directions this season.
Yeah, and it's okay because most lineups he faces are dominated with right-handed batters. Well, it's nothing for him or Dave Island to be too concerned about.
Another curve. 3-2. He has thrown 25 pitches, and 1/3 of his pitches tonight have been curveballs. Now you say, well, that's 1 of his 3 pitches, but that's usually the pitch he uses the least. Fastball pounded foul. He has thrown only 2 changeups. So again, we get back to what we said last inning. Vargas is a 3-pitch pitcher, but if you're a hitter facing him on any given night, you have no idea what he's going to do with the percentages of those 3 pitches.
That's right. It all depends on the game plan and what the hitters do, and Vargas studies. It's study way ahead of time, and you start every 5/5 day.
Gurriel runs, and that's ball 4. So the only out in the inning was a fly ball to the wall in left field by Beltran. Well, those guys look like they might be signed up for Sluggers Blue Crew, and why not? This year's membership includes a Blue Crew jersey, a flat bill cap, special edition earbuds, Royals eye black, 2 home game ticket vouchers, and more for just $30. You can sign up right now at Royals.com/Blue Crew.
Handsome young men.
Jake Marisnick broke the Royals' hearts on the first Sunday afternoon of this season, hitting a game-tying home run in the 9th inning. The Astros went on to win in 12 innings. No balls, 2 strikes. At this point in his career, known much more for his glove than his bat.
Vargy rolled up 4 beautiful ground ball double plays in his last start.
Just inside.
Marisnick runs well. He had the changeup and breaking balls working very well for him in his last start against Cleveland, and they were down and on the outside part of the plate. And when you try to pull that pitch, it goes right to the shortstop or third baseman. One of those 4 was an unassisted double play by Whitley Merrifield. So he hit it to the right side.
Still 1-2 on Marisnick. Inside again, 2 balls, 2 strikes. And remember, if the Royals get a double play right here or at any point in the game, the next day, tomorrow, McDouble sandwiches are only $1 at participating McDonald's in the Greater KC, St. Joe, and Lawrence locations. Off the end of the bat into left center field. Long run for Witt, but he runs it down. The runners were halfway. 2 outs.
Marisnick, he got some pretty good wood on that. Merrifield using his plus speed to get to the warning track. I thought when he hit it, it was off the end of the bat and it wasn't going to go as far as it did, but he got a little bit better than that. A rare evening here at the K where the flags are straight down.
Vargas struck out Springer with a curve in the first inning. He gets a high fastball this time, ball 1. Perfect night. Taking a fastball, 1-1. Springer has hit in 11 straight. And during that 11-game hitting streak, 7 home runs, 14 driven in. Vargas trying to get him to chase a fastball up. 3 straight fastballs. 2 balls and 1 strike. Typically leading off an inning and setting the table for the rest of the order, but now trying to come through with 2 outs and runners in scoring position. And that's what he's done all year, come through. Hitting over 600. He is clearly looking for something other than a fastball, because he's looked at 4 straight fastballs, 2 of which have been strikes. The other 2 have just missed. So maybe he's thinking about that big curveball that Vargas struck him out with in the first inning.
Hope he thinks on this pitch right here and misses.
Curve again, and he swung so hard he went down to a knee. Astros take the lead on Brian McCann's home run. The Royals won last night on a Mike Moustakas home run. Those two will be connected forever in Royals history. Moustakas and Hosmer, Hosmer and Moustakas, Moose and Haas. Our Kubota power stats, they've really been producing lately. Hosmer 9-game hitting streak, Moustakas 6. Moustakas has an .833 slugging percentage during his streak. And Eric Hosmer just keeps adding points to his batting average. He is now hitting .315. And he takes ball one from Diamondbacks Diaz.
First inning, Diaz threw a whole lot of fastballs. And looks like that's what he's going to do to see how the Royals react.
He's not lighting up the radar gun, but that's a firm fastball. It looks like it's got some late zip to it. He's popping the glove.
And that is right where Haas loves it, at that location right there.
Downstairs, 2 balls, 1 strike.
There they are. Haas has found him a bat that he's extremely comfortable with, and obviously since he has the Major League's best batting average since April 23rd, 370. He showed me yesterday he's using a Moose Stockus model, 33.5, not a 34, 35 inch, 32 ounce bat, and he's comfortable with it. It's a little bit shorter, but he can manage it better. So he kind of moved up on the plate a little bit. He's able to get it through the zone. And you know, sometimes guys will experiment with different weights and lengths. It just depends on how they're feeling and how they're going. He's been going good, so he's staying with it.
We were just talking the other day about pitchers who play catch and try different grips, and hey, why don't you try this grip? And that will happen from time to time. Hey, you mind if I swing one of your bats?
Exactly.
Batting practice. Just inside the line. Gurriel to Diaz, 1 away. Salvador Perez Comes to the plate. 3 hits last night, all to the opposite field. He is all-star worthy. He is also leading all American League catchers in all-star votes. That right there set up the Mike Moustakas 2-run game-winning home run in the bottom of the 9th inning. He pulls that pitch, which looked like it was away. So showing his plate coverage, reaching out and pulling it into left field for a 1-out single.
Yeah, it was. It's out there on the outer half. Salvi's 3 hits to the opposite field last night. One of them in specific was planned. The other one kind of got beat on it and he doinked it out there. But that one, when he was 0-2, he just served it out to right field with there's nobody over there. That was, he said he tried to do that.
15 home runs for Mike Moustakas. Fastball away. He swung at a first pitch fastball and fouled it away, and then got a second pitch slider.
And I think I was just a little bit excited, obviously, but I thought that the ball was bounced off of the Blue Moon sign out there. I mean, like, I thought he hit it over the stadium. And I think that was a little bit excited there, but my bad. It just went over the bullpen.
And now the Royals are questioning the strike zone tonight. Our Toyota League leaders. So Moustakas is tied for 8 in home runs, but he is tied for 2nd in game-winning RBIs. Carlos Correa, Astros shortstop, leads the league with 9. One ball, 2 strikes. Did he make contact? He's going to try and sell the home plate umpire that he did. He did not. It's a strikeout and number 2 for Diaz.
That's 4-seamer. And that 4-seamer straight as a string. Pretty much looked like there was a little bit of movement on it. Looked like a foul tip, didn't it?
Chesler Cuthbert got the start at third base tonight, partly because he's done quite well against Dallas Keuchel. Late movement with that fastball. 0-1 on Cuthbert. Chesler starts for a 2nd consecutive game. He popped out to short last night in his first 3 at-bats. But in the Royals' 4-run 8th inning, he singled, drove in a run, and then he scored on Merrifield's 3-run double. And that's lined to left field and will go all the way to the wall. And Salvi's going to be waved home. The relay throw was high. 2 strong arms involved in that play. Reddick, the left fielder, and Correa, the shortstop. But the first throw was high, and Mike Jersley, his gamble pays off, and the Royals tie the game.
Where he got it, though, this was nice. A little spinner there. That slider didn't do a whole lot, but where he got is it hit the base of the wall out in left field by the foul pole. There's about a 5-inch gap, and it stuck. So Reddick had to run it. Took it 2 more seconds, 3 more seconds, and that's really what did it. Now, the throw wasn't the best throw either, but Salvi, man, you could see it. The play was in front of him for the most part, but a lot depends on the carom off the wall as to determine if a guy can score from first. And these corners here at the K, they're not easy to play.
Here's Escobar. And you know, we talk about all the things that a third base coach has to consider, and this is nothing personal, it's just baseball. But there's 2 outs and you've got a 177 hitter coming to the plate, and that's something that the third base coach is thinking about. Who's coming up next?
Yep.
What's your best chance to score this run? They're going to get another run. So Escobar says, take that with your one or my 177 average. He comes through. Cuthbert scores, and the Royals have taken the lead.
First pitch fastball, there it is. Esky loves it. We know 94. Good easy swing. And look, now you could see that their shift, if they were in a normal spot, there could have been a play at the plate. But as Springer was way towards the line. Look at the love in the dugout. That's so good. I tell you, that win last night did a lot for their confidence. And the Royals are starting to believe, starting to hit like they can.
And here's the first major league at bat for Ramon Torres. Ball one from Diaz.
This young man was looking forward to facing the best pitcher in the American League tonight. Now he's getting a guy who's like him. He's a call-up. He's his first major league start. Now he has confidence. Torres does. He's like, all right, I'm just going to pretend like I'm in AAA. I'm going to get me a big league hit first at bat.
He's a switch hitter. So not only was he thinking about one of the best pitchers in the league, but he was thinking about batting right-handed tonight. He had good numbers at AAA Omaha. Signed by the Royals in 2009 out of the Dominican Republic.
Good hands. As a defender, you know it's going to help him with the bat. Doesn't look nervous. Looks calm.
One ball, 2 strikes. And he's doing something right here that he's done very little of in his professional career, and that is try and work the count. He's typically getting after it on one of the first 2 pitches of an at-bat. Doesn't walk much, also doesn't strike out very often, but as you said, Hud, being very patient.
Hey, look,
taking the approach of, hey, you know, it's my first at-bat. I want to see some pitches.
But he's not in the game yet. He hasn't swung, and he's got 2 strikes on it. Now, this isn't the only at-bat he's going to get all night, but he wants to gauge his swing on the pitchers.
Off of Gurriel's glove. Gurriel gets back to the bag, and it's in time. So Torres came very close to getting a hit in his first big league at-bat. The Royals get 2. Cuthbert doubles in Perez, and then Alcides Escobar gets Cuthbert to the plate. Royals in front with a 2-out RBI single. Royals get 2 in the bottom of the second inning. Head to Royals.com/vote to send the Royals to Miami on July 11th. Vote today, vote tomorrow, vote at Royals.com. Salvi scored the first run, coming around in the Cuthbert double. Last check, Eric Hosmer was fewer than 100,000 votes to start at first base for the American League. Miguel Cabrera is leading the way.
Folks, we can vote him in 3 days. Let's do it. Although the All-Star game, the World Series home field advantage is not relying on it this year, is it? You want him there regardless. I guarantee you those infielders on the left side of the diamond that are going to be in the All-Star game, they want Haas over there.
Reddick single to center his first time up. Again, a lot of curveballs for Jason Vargas tonight against the Astros. Off the end of the bat, this one will carry out to Kane. 1 away.
It's interesting sometimes when a guy is off balance with his swing, but he barrels it. That's another thing that'll trick the outfielder. You saw how low Kane came in, reading his body language. It looked like he was off balance, but he barreled it, and it had some backspin. He had to stop and go back and pick up the spin. Playing outfield at this level is not easy.
Altuve did put down a bunt in the first inning, and he bunted it right up the first base line. Hosmer grabbed it and tagged him out, and now he's showing bunt again against Vargas.
Now, really, Vargas is the perfect guy to bunt on, and the reason is he's not overpowering. It's hard to hit a fastball at 95. Bunt one. But when you throw changeups, high fastballs, and breakers, you can drag them or push them. He has just 1 bunt hit this year, and he's tried 2 times up now. Interesting.
And he's hitting .326, so it's not like he's struggling and finding a way to get a hit. Into Hosmer's glove again, this time with a pop out. 2 down. And now Carlos Correa, who immediately begins a conversation with home plate umpire Doug Eddings. He was unhappy with 2 fastballs that were called strikes, second of which struck him out. Salvi asked for a curveball, and that's in for strike 1.
Beautiful location there. Now let's check out the one. You can see he's trying to stay away from him. It's up at the top, 2 strikes. I like Correa's disposition there. I liked the fact that he was able to control himself. He's a young player. Sometimes, you might get a hot head, hot temper, and you get tossed, you hurt your team. That was professionally done right there. He didn't rile Eddings up, didn't get the umpire mad at him.
Cuthbert backhands a long throw in time to get Correa, and Vargas has his first 1-2-3 inning. House Charity CEO turned 40 in 2013 and vowed to perform 40 acts of goodness to celebrate those people who shaped her life, to pay it forward. Her passion for the improvement of the greater Kansas City area has seen her serve as the president of the MS Society's Mid-America chapter prior to her work with Ronald McDonald House Charities. And tonight she's sitting in the Buck O'Neil Legacy seat.
Perfect heart on her shirt. That's how big the one is inside of her. Thank you, Tammy.
Whit Merrifield leads off the third inning. He led off the first, striking out on 3 pitches from Diaz, who just went fastball, 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 and got Whit looking. Diaz got the Royals in order in the first, and then the Royals batted 6 in the second and scored 2. And there's Tony Sipp warming up in the Astros bullpen. We told you that Diaz has not thrown more than 49 pitches in any appearance this year. He's normally a reliever. Springer is back in right field and makes the play, running onto the warning track, and Whit is 0 for 2. Mentioned earlier, this guy really hung in there, Diaz. He was originally signed by the Astros. The Astros were his original organization. He had Tommy John surgery back in 2009. Then he went to the Cubs organization, Red Sox organization, Reds organization, and finally made his big league debut last year in his 11th professional season, and then signed back with his original organization. And finding out that he was the starter about 15 minutes before the game tonight, he's given up 2 earned runs in 2 1/3.
He's from Cartagena, Colombia.
I asked our crew, I said, when you think of, and this is for my age group and yours, when you think of Cartagena, Colombia, what's the first thing that pops into your mind? And our director Steve Kurtenbach said, Romancing the Stone.
Yeah.
Remember that?
Dr. Jones, Dr. Jones.
No, that was Indiana Jones.
Oh, sorry. I remember that kid. My bad. Hey, now,
that was a Michael Douglas.
Okay. Ooh, watch out over
movie.
there, Rusty.
And they were trying to get to Cartagena.
Yeah, it was a good movie. But I was trying to figure out, I knew that I played against a couple guys that were from there, but not many. So I asked Holtzy to find out what other big leaguers were from Cartagena. So we came up with Julio Teheran, who's active. He's a pitcher for Seattle. Jackie Gutierrez, who played shortstop for the Red Sox in the late 80s and early 90s. And Orlando Cabrera, who was a shortstop for the Angels, and Holbert Cabrera played for the Indians a little bit. Brothers. That's all we could think of.
Well, I think about Michael Douglas and Kathleen Turner.
Yeah, no,
the lovely Kathleen Turner.
No, it was a good movie.
Who's from Springfield, by the way, Kathleen Turner. We're talking about 2 different things, aren't we?
Yeah, but Indiana Jones, wasn't that kid in there that I was imitating? You remember him? Hey, how many did they make? About 6 of them? Romance in the Stone? 4 of them, sorry. Anyway, one of them I got a kick out of the little kid. Dr. Jones. Anyway, Cartagena.
So anyway, back to live action.
Yeah, Temple of Doom. That's what that was.
Inside to Kane. He grounded out to third in the first inning. Drilled to center field. Back goes Marisnik. All the way back. Gone! Right over the 410 mark.
Pass out a set of earplugs up here, please. That was loud. Wow, Locane unloads with a nice short compact swing on a 93-mile-an-hour heater, center cut diamond right down the middle. And that ball was tattered and battered. 4th homer of the year for Locane.
Tony Sipp is a Chevy call to the bullpen. Inning, they scored 2 with 2 outs in the 2nd, and they get another 2-out run here in the 3rd.
Look at how easy that was. Oh man, you know, he wasn't planning to do that, but that is such a controlled swing from Locane. That's his best swing of the year. Reason why? It went straight away center field. Right on it. Can't hit it any better.
Tony Sipp on to get Eric Hosmer with 2 outs and nobody on. Just to get you the final details, HUD, Holtze did some exhaustive research, and the little boy you're talking about from Indiana Jones, Temple of Doom, he was referred to as Short Round by Harrison Ford.
Okay.
Jonathan K. Kwan is his name, and he is now 45 years old, by the way.
Wow, that
so
old.
there you go.
Oh man, thank you.
Hosmer grounded out to first in the 2nd inning. Half swing, and he got some barrel on it, so it carries out to Reddick, and that ends the inning. Royals have scored 3 runs tonight, all with 2 outs. Kane to straightaway center field to give the Royals a 3-1 lead.
Hello, Kane Cam.
Gives the Royals a 3-1 lead to the top of the 4th inning, and you can show your support for your boys in blue and Royals charities as you drive around town with a personalized Royals license plate. Reserve your customized Royals plate with a $35 donation to Royals charities. This offer is only for Missouri residents. Royals.com/license plates. Sorry, HUD. Changeup is outside to Beltran. 1 ball, 1 strike. He flied deep into the left field corner in the 2nd inning. Whit Merrifield made the play 1 step from the wall. That curve is low. 2 balls and 1 strike. Three and 1. Vargas has walked 1 and he has struck out 3. Off the end of the bat, 3 balls, 2 strikes.
Pretty impressive right there in his career. Very. And with him, McCann, Reddick.
That's going to drop and bounce by Bonifacio. So he was playing deep in right field. That ball had a lot of side spin on it, so it was just dying as it was getting out into right field, and Beltran's at second base with nobody out.
Anyway, those veterans that they acquired this offseason. Well, let's take a look at this again. Hey, it had some spin on it. You can see he was playing him way to pull, and by the time he really picked it up, then he backed up, tried to get the spin on a ball like that. Sometimes will kick extreme, and he got his 13th double.
He had been tied with Alex Rodriguez for 30th all time in doubles. He now has 549 doubles, so he is tied with Chipper Jones for 29th all time.
Anyway, Dave Hudgens, their hitting coach, has had a much easier year this year because of Beltran, McCann, and Reddick. Those veterans have taken over and helped him. Oh man, good swing. He's hot.
McCann will hold with a single, but it's plenty deep to get Beltran. And now it's 3-2. McCann has driven in both runs for the Astros.
Again, an elevated pitch. This time McCann's able to get around on it with no problem. Velocity is, mid to upper 80s. But imagine having 3 extra hitting coaches that play every day, that are regulars, that are out there. And the hitting coach, they all go. Altuve goes to Beltran when he's struggling a little bit. So he said previous years it was not easy being a hitting coach. Of course, that's the toughest job if you ask me. I mean, they're not all of them are tough. Coaches up here nowadays, long days, 12-hour days. But a hitting coach is responsible for so many. So nowadays they have an assistant that helps the hitting coaches, which is a great idea. A guy who can flip them balls in the cage while the other coach is out there watching. But Hudgens said this year it's been a lot easier.
1-2 on Gurriel.
His swing reminds me of Juan Gonzalez's swing. Remember Juan Gonzalez, tall? He had a long armsy swing. He was a tall, lanky guy.
Former Royal Juan Gonzalez.
Okay. What was that?
Yeah, don't feel bad if you don't remember anything.
No, was that
about
at the end? Yeah, not in that uniform. I remember him in Cleveland. He had 1 year here. A couple years.
Yeah, it's more like a couple of months here.
Oh. See where this one is.
That one is called a strike. And Gurriel better be careful. He dropped his elbow guard and his bat at home plate.
Ooh, good spot. Yeah, Eddings gave it to him. Hey.
There are more professional ways than that to handle it.
Yep.
It was 3-2, so he may have thought it was ball 4. That's why the elbow pad came off and the bat was dropped. But that will inspire nobody. 1-1 on Bregman.
That'll offend most umpires.
Two and one. Everybody else on the field tonight, when they make a mistake, well, there's the human side of it, and you can't be perfect. But the same grace is not extended to the umpires. Although the pitch that Vargas made was definitely in the grid, or at least in contact with the grid. So it should have been called a strike, or it's not out of line to be called a strike.
Well, just like how the game has changed, you know, in our modern day today. Back in the 70s, 80s, 90s, that ball comes down, I think he's out. Who's going to catch it? The umpires had a union, and they had separate umpires, American League umpires and National League umpires, and they didn't change. There was no interchanging and doing all the games like it is now. And they were buddies. They were all friends, and if you did something like that to one of them, the word would get around to the rest of the crew, and they had attitudes, and they would hold that against you. Not all of them did, but if you show me up, you're in trouble. And so it was a little different back then. You had more manners towards the umpires. At least I did. I never got kicked out of a game, but I never, even if you look back, I remember Paul Runge, famous National League umpire, and I was new in the league, and I looked back on a certain pitch that I didn't think was a strike, and he goes, "Son, don't ever look back here again."
Did he say it like that?
Absolutely.
Was he related to Jim Leland?
No, but that was his voice. It was a different league. A different time.
So let me ask you, I mean, the easy answer would be that that's not good for the game, but it's part of the human element. Was it better then, or is it better now?
As a player, I'm going to say it's better now, because there was a lot of attitude and ego from the other side, from the umpires. Okay. That's just my opinion. I loved all of those guys, and then most of them are all retired. Way to go, Vargy. Good spot.
Beltran doubled. McCann drives him home. 2 batters into the inning. The Astros scored a run, but Vargas gets the next 3 with 2 more strikeouts.
thought this would be an incredible pitcher's duel. Top 2 ERAs in baseball, or lowest. But Dallas Keuchel scratched, went out there, came in, and was scratched due to illness, and has to be incredibly disappointing, obviously, for him and the Astros. Joel Goldberg back by the Royals dugout. Talking to Dallas yesterday, first off, guys, he's a very personable player and pitcher, and he was in great spirits yesterday. So if he was at all under the weather, there were no signs of it. He was talking about how excited he was that his parents and some friends would be here. This is the closest stadium to where he grew up in Oklahoma, and so he was excited about it. And I thought it was interesting, guys. He talked about in the past he wanted to go 8, 9 innings, and sure, that's still the mentality, but he said we're kind of following the Royals mold now of a couple of years ago. Just go 6, that's enough. Stay fresh for later in the year and let our bullpen do it. That obviously did not work out for them last night, and now today it's essentially 9 innings of bullpen. But that's the mentality now. He said it worked for the Royals. The Indians put their wrinkle on it last year with Andrew Miller. We want to stay fresh for the postseason, but tonight, no Dallas Keuchel.
And the Royals 3-2 lead. All 3 runs against Diamondbacks Diaz, making his first major league start. Tony Sipp at the last out of the 3rd, and now he gets Perez, Moustakas, and Cuthbert.
He's going to throw 88 to 93 with the 2-seam sinker, slider, changeup.
1 ball, 2 strikes. It's a tough guy. Old school thinking that, you know, when you're a starter, you should be able to go 7, 8, 9 innings and finish the game. And those guys were tough, and they were conditioned to do that. But I think it's harder now on a hitter. Salvi, that ball's hit into deep center field. Marisnik is back, and it stays in the ballpark off the wall, and Salvi has a leadoff double.
Salvi's starting to lock in. The 3 base hits to the opposite field last night really helped him. A breaking ball down, he's still not trying to pull it. That's good. His bottom hand stayed underneath, and he was able to go with it and drive it up the right center field wall. And a beautiful spot there right off of our Fox Sports Kansas City sign. Very nice. Salvi, he's getting locked in.
Diaz struck out Moustakas in the 2nd inning. Just to finish the thought, today, you see a starter, maybe you get 2 at-bats against him, and you think, okay, maybe I've got a feel for what he's got tonight. Now you're facing another pitcher in your 3rd at-bat. You're facing another pitcher in your 4th at-bat, and maybe even another in your 5th at-bat.
It's tough.
When pitchers were routinely going 7 or 8 innings in that era of the game, the guys in the bullpen were failed starters. It was like a level below the guys in the starting rotation. That's changed.
Ball outside.
2-1 on Moustakas. Two and 2. Off the end of the bat. Looked like he was trying to pull it, but he just squibbed it off the end of the bat to the left side. So Perez does not advance, and there is 1 down. The crew from Fox Sports Kansas City is at Kauffman Stadium tonight, talking with fans about streaming Royals games on Fox Sports Go. If you are a customer of a participating pay TV provider, you can stream our Royals telecast. You watch on your phone or tablet with the Fox Sports Go app. Just download the app for free or visit foxsportsgo.com for more information. Up and away to Cheslor Cuthbert. He doubled in a run and then came around to score in the Royals' 2-run second inning.
It's got to make Cheslor feel good there. That nice double. That was his 4th double on the season. And it was well struck. Another hit's going to get him over 200.
He's batting 197 for the year, but if you break him down, his first 15 games versus his last 11 games, he was hitting 119 in his first 15, and now he's hitting 310 in his last 11.
Yeah, that sounds more like it, because he's been swinging a lot better.
It's the second time in this inning a Royals hitter has tried to pull the ball, and in doing so, cued it off the end of the bat.
Yep, he's got good stuff. Sip. Look at that. He stuck that. I mean, that was right on it. Watch this ball just kill right there, right? Oh, and it bounced up and stayed there. That gave Salvi a couple more seconds to get around the bag and score.
Two and two.
Sip's got some deception working. He's got a very nice fluid arm speed for his fastball, and that the slider and changeup are coming out of there at that same speed. Makes him deceptive. Same speed with the arm slot. Different grips make it change speeds.
Back into the crowd. Dropped by a fan in the first row of the club level who had the opportunity of a lifetime. And it went through his fingers and down into the lower deck. That's why you bring your glove.
One of the reasons. Others, maybe you can get an autograph before the game.
Another foul ball. And now out in front, Tony Sipp's place in Royals history.
Kendrys Morales. Royals down by 4. It was looking really bleak. People where I was watching the game down at the Power and Light, you could have heard a pin drop in there of 10,000 people. And it was really getting sad. Morales cues one off the end of his bat. Tips off of the glove of Sipp barely. Spins, takes one hop over the shortstop Correa's glove, who had an easy catch and step on the bag and go home. And look at it, was that painful. I mean, look at, here's a guy, Sipp, it just, no one could believe it. Look at it, Altuve, he jumped in the air. Oh man. And then where you were, you could hear a pin drop.
Yes, that's true. That place, the roof was closed. It was so loud. Although not even being biased, it wasn't as loud as Kauffman Stadium, but it was loud. And then suddenly it was a 43,000 person library.
And the Power and Light district where Goldie and I were shook. It was awesome.
And how many times did he replay that in his mind that offseason? If he catches that ball cleanly, With Morales running, he has time to run to second or flip to Altuve and turn a double play, and the Astros going to the bottom of the 8th inning still up by 1. And then who knows?
Did you see Sip's reaction?
Yeah.
He went to the ground.
By the way, someone pointed out to me earlier today that the Royals were down by 4 going into the 8th inning last night.
Come on. Well, that's only right, because those plays are still fresh in our memories. It hasn't been that long ago.
2-1 on Eske.
People in different generation now, younger people, will never forget those things. Neither will Sip. When you're on the losing side of that, that never goes away either, and that's a painful thing.
Especially when you come in and your job against a dangerous hitter like Morales is to try and get a ground ball and get out of the inning, and you get the ground ball. And then of course we came back to Kansas City with the series tied, and Morales ended up hitting that huge home run against Keuchel, who was pitching out of the bullpen, that iced that game.
And that was one of the loudest I've ever heard it here at the K.
Escobar, right side. Salvi's going to be waved home again. Springer's throw, not in time. Escobar to second. He has driven in 2 tonight. And the Royals have scored all 4 of their runs with 2 outs.
Great job by Escobar. Couple things I like there. Escobar read the throw from Springer was over the relay man. Good pick, good hit, but he's going to continue into second base. The ball was offline, and Springer had to go to center. Jershely sent him. Another good move by Jershely. But see that? Escobar's in scoring position with 2 outs. Like what I'm seeing. Beautiful job. Especially Escobar. Where has that been? That swing right there. Bottle that up.
The bunt the other night.
Yes.
Stolen base.
We know it's there. And he still has time to get his offense back together. Escobar and Gordon too.
And now the second big league at bat for Ramon Torres. His first as a right-hand batter. Takes a fastball for a strike. As a left-hand hitter in the second inning against Diaz, he grounded out. Almost got a hit. Gurriel, the first baseman, made a good play on a ground ball to get a glove on it, keep it out of the outfield. It ricocheted perfectly to the second baseman Altuve, who threw back to Gurriel for the out. Got the call, and it's 0-2.
Runner on second base. You want to drive him in. Now, I don't know if he'll get anything to drive him in 0-2 here. But sometimes the situation you're in with 2 outs, you're up there to be aggressive and swing the bat. He's young. Let's see if he can do it.
And he got a base hit. His first major league hit, his first major league extra base hit, and his first major league RBI.
He knew exactly what he was doing. How dare we question him not being aggressive on one of the first 2 pitches? Shake yourself, Hud. Come on. This kid knew it. He almost got his first big league hit in his first big league at bat with 2 strikes. Beautiful piece of hitting there. He sliced that ball right down the right field line. Oh, we'll have to show it to you later.
Another Chevy call to the bullpen, and A.J. Hinch in the 4th inning is already using his 3rd pitcher tonight.
it out. First big league hit. Ramon Torres says, I knew what I was doing the whole time. 0-2. I'm going to slice it right by the first baseman, Gurriel. I'm not stopping either. And in between the pitching change, why not? That's only proper when the K is giving it up for you. That's a beautiful thing. That is totally proper.
You only get one chance your entire life to acknowledge the crowd after your big league hit.
That's right.
Or in the case of Eric Skoglund, to acknowledge the crowd when you're on your way to your first big league win. So take advantage of it.
And there's Mr. Authenticator.
Which comes in handy when you are the authenticator. 2-0 on Witt. He is struck out and lined to the warning track in right field. Michael Phillies is the third Astros pitcher. He pitched a scoreless bottom of the ninth inning on Monday and had a couple of strikeouts. In the air to right. Springer sees it and brings it down.
Oh, how short was that swing? Beautiful slide. He got his uniform dirty, and he tipped the cap.
Royals baseball is brought to you by the Chevy Silverado, the most dependable, longest lasting full-size pickup on the road, and you can find yours at your local Mid-America Chevy dealer. By Academy Sports and Outdoors, for all for less. And by Thoroughbred Ford. Every day there's a great deal waiting for you at Thoroughbred Ford. Ramon Torres on an 0-2 pitch. Drives in the Royals' 5th run tonight. The Royals have scored all 5 with 2 outs. And Jason Vargas has his biggest lead of the night. Leadoff man George Springer. He has struck out twice, both swinging at curveballs down and out of the strike zone. The second one, he swung so hard and missed so badly, he fell down to a knee. And now he gets hit on the foot on a 2-1 pitch.
So if you're a Royals fan right now and you see the Royals up by 3 runs, there's no need to jump up and down and do cartwheels.
55 miles an hour is his slowest pitch tonight.
I just love the way he invents and he changes. You know, he's able to create each game. He has a different game plan. He's really flipping that breaking ball up there. Huh? But I like it. I like how he's been patterning or tailoring his game depending on which team he's facing, which offense.
And now coming up the mound, he backhands and shovels to Hosmer, who wasn't expecting that, but Hosmer with good reflexes himself grabs it for the first out. Springer goes to second.
We talked about what a great athlete he is, and he can feel his position. Sometimes this almost cost me. He's so good. He's saying my bad because Haas wasn't ready for it out of his glove like that. But he is some kind of athlete. Haas almost dropped it. He hit that out. Anyway, I was saying this team's so powerful you can't get too excited about a lead at this time of the game. Steady as she goes.
Jose Altuve is 0 for 2. Upstairs for ball one. He is grounded out to Hosmer on a bunt attempt, and he is popped out to Hosmer. Outside 2-0. Got the call and a high strike, 2 balls and 1 strike, and now Altuve turns and has a quick word with Doug Eddings. Who's had a few conversations tonight with hitters on both sides. Curveball down and in, 3-1. Correa is on deck, and he would represent the tying run.
Left-handers, the Astros have as a team 263 average, which is tied for, it's third in the American League. 23 home runs is tied for first against Southpaws.
Grounded to Cuthbert, throws, and Hosmer had to prevent that from skipping by him, so he left the bag. So Cuthbert saves a run by keeping it out of left field, and the Astros have first and third with 1 out.
And had he had known that the runner was coming, he maybe could have gotten there to tag him up, but he's so focused on Altuve, but Altuve is just way too fast. But a great save, run saving play. And Haas coming off the base was also nice.
And now Correa, who is struck out and grounded out.
Altuve still, he has the most on the team with 11. Been caught twice. Like to get to second base and stay out of a double play, but sometimes when you steal, you run the risk of getting caught, and with a hitter up at the plate is a big strong guy that can do some damage. Oh, that'll work.
Torres makes the play, 2 down. Vargas has thrown 85 pitches, and now Mike Minor is just starting to play catch out in the Royals bullpen. Summer nights at Kauffman Stadium, hanging with your friends. That's hard to beat. And with the new Royals Ballpark Summer Pass, it's easier and cheaper than ever. For just $99, you get access to all home games through July 23rd. That includes weekends, buck nights, and giveaways. You'll have access to any of our standing room areas, which include some of the best locations here at the ballpark. And with your tickets right on the phone, you can skip the box office lines and walk right in. Royals.com/pass. Check it out.
Nice idea.
Beltran has flied to deep left and hit a bloop double to right. Curveball's in for a strike.
He's wearing that back door out for his pitches with that breaker. Back door, it's when you throw a breaking ball on the outside part of the plate wherever the hitter is not, and that's a back door. It's coming back.
Altuve runs, and it's fouled away. Why, going back to the beginning of that term, was it given the name back door instead of side door?
Yeah, I don't know. But all the baseball terminology that you hear, at least from me, and a lot of others that played, was all passed down.
Right. Everyone knows what that means when you say a backdoor breaking ball, but whatever.
Yeah. Can of corn, we kind of figured that one out. You know, on a routine fly balls, a can of corn is because back in the day, in the, I don't know, 30s, 40s.
I think it was 1931.
I don't know. But anyway, whenever you went to the grocery store and wanted some corn, you had to go, you had to use a stick, I guess. And you
Way
would try,
on the top shelf.
Yeah, and you had to get the stick and get the can of corn to fall off, and you caught it. Therefore, it's a can of corn. Some of the other ones, we'd have to bring back Dizzy Dean to give us some of the terminologies for some of those. Dizzy Dean, Hoyt Wilhelm, Red Shane Dees. Red's in his mid-90s. He's still going good. We'll see him in St. Louis. Maybe he can help us with some of them.
Thought about it, and that's what Salvi wanted. He has used that with success in this series, getting Beltran to chase a high fastball, and where his target was when that pitch came in, it was no secret. He wanted a fastball up. They're going to try it again.
And it's interesting because Beltran likes the ball up, so they're trying to tease him and they want the pop up, but got to be careful when you're not overpowering and you try to throw up. That worked.
Merrifield out in left field. He's got it. Astros strand 2. They've left 6 on base. It'll be Bonifacio, Kane, who's homered, and Hosmer coming up.
Chris Carter looks like a homer, doesn't it? Mookie Betts says, hey, look, I'm going to measure this up, and I'm going to pull the rebound down and out of the stands. Robbed him. But the Yanks went on and won 8-0. Chris Carter said, all right, okay, I can play that game. I'll get you next time. He wasn't happy, though. You never are when you get robbed of a homer.
Bonifacio didn't hit it very hard. It's a good thing. It drops in front of Springer in right field. Bonifacio's on to begin the bottom of the 5th inning. That home run immediately reminded me of a Yankee hitting a home run to right field in the playoffs. Mookie Betts makes this catch. I wonder if they would have called fan interference if he didn't catch it, because that fan clearly was reaching over the wall.
Who was the right fielder who tried?
Tony Tarasco.
Way to go.
Richie Garcia was the right field umpire.
Okay. Can't slip anything by you.
Well, that was an easy one. We played Little League together.
Oh, really?
Tony Tarasco, yeah.
I hit my last professional base hit to him in left field in AAA with the Buffalo Bisons. Interesting. You knew his name. Way to go. All right.
Phillies moves Kane's feet.
Yeah. Oh, by the way, Phillies, he's got a nice fastball. Mid to upper 90s slider changeup. 6'4", 220. He's a big guy. Watch out.
Did he go? He did. So says first base umpire Corey Blazer. 1 ball, 1 strike. Lorenzo's not happy about it.
Nope, and when it's the umpire's interpretation if he swung at it. Didn't you always think if the bat head crossed the plate, it was he swung? I always thought that.
Front plane of the plate.
Yeah. I always thought that, even as a player.
All different kind of interpretations of that.
Until I got on the broadcast side and started going down talking to those umpires, that's when they were teaching me some stuff.
Some will say that they don't use the front edge of the plate, but if you're the opposite side umpire, so if you're Corey Blazer at first base, you're looking at the foul line right in front of you, and if the bat plane crosses that foul line. But what you and I heard in recent years, now they're factoring in intent. 2 balls, 2 strikes, and what that means is whether you're using the front edge of the plate or the line, as your baseline, sometimes a hitter can cross the plane, but they're trying to get out of the way. They're not trying to strike the baseball, so the bat crosses the plane, but he's not really swinging. Well, therefore, you shouldn't be calling it a swing.
Nice explanation. Thank you.
3-2. And I've also heard more than one umpire tell me that in some ways the appeal to the base umpire will appease the hitter, but the home plate umpire really has the best look at it. He's right there. He's got the bat and the plate right in front of him.
And because the dugouts and managers and hitting coaches are all yelling, "Ask him! Come on, get some help!" And that play right there, you get more hitters thrown out than in any other play. More hitters get thrown out.
So HUD, give me a line there. The first base umpire Corey Blazer, he's looking down the baseline, and if Kane's bat were to cross that first base line, that's what some umpires will use as a guideline. That's inside for a walk, and the Royals have 2 on, nobody out against Phillies. And now Hosmer, Perez, and Moustakas coming up. Why don't you schedule your summer vacation to join the Royals, say in Boston or Los Angeles or San Francisco? Royals Destinations provides fans with the ultimate experience. Tickets, sitting aside fellow Royals fans, VIP ballpark access, a meet and greet reception with a current player, optional hotel accommodations, and more. Royals.com/destinations. In that picture, a couple of fans enjoying Fenway Park in Boston. Quite a reaction after that foul ball into the upper deck.
It was a dart. It was a line drive. The fan barehanded going about 95 plus. Our fans can play the game here.
Hosmer is grounded to first and flied to left. 0 for 2. No balls, 2 strikes. Some umpires will not give that call because they will position themselves with the catcher, and McCann was set up inside on Hosmer. Feliz missed the target, but Doug Edding said that pitch was still in the strike zone.
All inside
Inside, 1 ball, 2 strikes.
Great location there for Phillies. That was a good pitch. Almost got him to swing at it. Got to be careful facing Haas. He's been pretty hot hitter, no doubt about it. He's brought his average way up since the end of April.
Big strikeout for Phillies.
Check out Salvador Perez. He's kind of was in a little slump for a little while here, and now he's starting to come out of it. Now that's nice. He'll take that base hit. And this pitch was impressive. I mean, it was down low and away, and he drove it right off of the Fox Sports Kansas City sign, and it's really looking good. Those opposite field hits, I'm telling you, they do wonders for you. They get you going. And he's due for a homer, and it could happen anytime now. He's looking for that pitch. He had it a few times, had a couple against Sip, and must be a matter of time before he pops one out of the yard again.
So he's 5 for 5 in his last 6 official plate appearances. Catcher's interference is not counted against him. It's an error on the catcher. So when he's had a chance to swing without interference, he's 5 for 5. That's a great spot. 95 right over the inside corner, and Phillies, like he was with Hosmer, jumps ahead 0-2. This would be a big inning for the Royals to add on. It would be a big inning for the Astros if they can get out of this after the Royals had 2 on and nobody out. Boy, he missed the target bad there. McCann wanted that up, and it was almost in the dirt. Still almost a strike. Struck him out. So a leadoff single followed by a walk, 2 on, nobody out, and now back-to-back strikeouts.
You know, when your back's against the wall and you're a pitcher and you got that kind of velocity, you know, and you get beat by like a slider or a secondary third pitch, shame on you. He reached back and said, "Here, hit it, here it comes." And when you elevate it at that velocity, it looks good for a split second, but you can't catch it. You can't catch up to it.
Two on, 2 out. Inside ball 1. Moustakas has struck out and grounded out to third. Bonifacio single to right. Kane walked. And then Feliz has struck out Hosmer and Perez.
Moose hasn't changed his hands or his stance at all from the very beginning of the season, and why would you? He's locked in. He's had excellent control with his lower half. He's not overstriding. He's slightly opened a little bit with his front side. That opens up the hips for him automatically. And then he trusts those hands, and he's coming down through the ball. He's not uppercutting. He's getting backspin on baseballs.
3-0. Cuthbert's on deck. Going back to 2008, the most home runs before the All-Star break for a Royal, Billy Butler with 1 more than Moustakas right now. Moustakas back in 2012 also had 15 before the break.
Green light him.
Had a good swing. 3-1. By the way, we're still more than a month away from the break. A little more than a month.
A lot of games. What are they going to do here? Cuthbert on deck. wants to be very careful with this location here. McCann, veteran catcher behind the plate, 13 years in the show. He knows what's the situation.
Bases loaded, 2 down. Single, walk, strikeout, strikeout, walk. And a big spot for Cuthbert. A.J. Hinch found out about 15 minutes before the game that he was not going to have Dallas Keuchel, who was scratched with an illness. So he went to Diaz, just called up and making his first major league start. He went 2 2/3. Tony Sipp 1 inning. And now Michael Phillies 1 inning. Nobody warming up in the bullpen. Outside at 97.
Cuthbert 2 for 3 with them loaded up this year. Any kind of add-on runs here would be welcomed.
Line right field. That's down for a hit. Bonifacio scores. Here's Kane. The Royals have scored 7 runs tonight, all with 2 outs.
Make him 3 for 4 with them loaded now. Stay hot, Chesler. Welcome back. Oh, he rifled this. Fastball, center cut again. Our guys aren't missing those babies tonight. Sometimes you pop them up, sometimes you ground them out, but not this time. A laser dart to right field. Flating a couple, giving Barkey a nice little lead. 5 runs to be precise. Chesler's smile is contagious, and so is that offense.
Alcides Escobar has 2 of those 2-out RBIs. He takes low, ball 1. Lower third tonight is 5 for 7. They've driven in 6 of the 7 runs, including Ramon Torres getting his first big league hit. And now Eski's ahead, 2 balls and no strikes.
Didn't swing at either one of those breaking balls.
So Jason Vargas has a 5-run lead.
Look at those rispy numbers. 4 for 5 with 2 outs. Ooh.
Well, I'll say what I said just a few moments ago. If the Royals could score here, that'd be a blow to the Astros. But if Phillies could have gotten out of this without allowing a run, that would have been a lift for the Astros. And now Eski being very selective tonight, lays off a slider and the count is 3-1. If Phillies pitches out of this, the Astros are down by 3 with plenty of outs and plenty of offense to get back in. But now they'll come up in the top of the 6th inning down by 5 at least. Could have been ball 4. 3 balls, 2 strikes.
Oh, the last 2 swings, he's getting happy again. Want to keep that same short swing, opposite field approach.
Runners go, and it's fouled back to the screen. "31 pitches for Phillies, 28 of which have been in this inning." Runners go. Strike 3 over the outside. So Phillies strikes out the side, but the Royals get 2 more, both with 2 outs.
And Chesler, stay hot.
Ramon Torres in his first big league game has his first big league hit and his first big league RBI, and it's been a clutch night if you believe in clutch. 7 runs for the Royals, all with 2 outs. And now Mike Minor takes over. Jason Vargas gives up 2 runs, 6 hits in 5 innings. Facing a guy who he has thrown to quite a bit when they were both with the Braves, Brian McCann. McCann has driven in both of the Astros runs tonight. He has homered and singled in a run.
Fastball slider change, mid-90s heater. And he looks good. Whoops. Ooh, man, watch out.
That hit the railing of the Royals dugout, went up into the netting and then back into the dugout.
Ooh. Oh, duck over there. Look at our trainers. Oh, man.
Cover your head.
Oh, it's a good thing. Didn't sneak over that rail and catch one of those guys. And we lose one of them, we're in big trouble.
Yeah, if they go down, who goes to them?
Exactly. Oh, Nick Kinney.
Minor strikes out Brian McCann. So a good start to the top of the 6th inning. Beginning June 15th, the world's greatest players battle to be crowned America's champion in golf's can't miss major of the year. The 117th U.S. Open begins on Fox FS1 and streaming live on Fox Sports Go. Yuli Gurriel with 1 out. Good pitch over the inside from Mike Minor. Gurriel is singled and struck out looking. One and one. Kane waits for it in center field. Mike Minor was the winning pitcher last night. He pitched the top of the 9th inning, a scoreless 9th, thanks in large part to a play by Alcides Escobar and a ground ball from Alex Bregman. And then the Mike Moustakas walk off in the bottom of the 9th.
Play by Escobar saved the game.
Here is Bregman. He is walked and flied to center. Popped up. Hosmer makes a 2-hand grab. Mike Minor has a quick top of the 6th inning.
Here at the K, Royals up 7-2 in Game 3 of this 4-game series. Check it out, Ramon Torres, our cricket wireless. Something to smile about? I'll guess that's true. Because look, he got his first big league hit, first big league extra base hit. It was a double, and his first stake. Escobar crosses the plate. He'll never forget, and that, he'll never forget that. That's his first cap tip, and hopefully not his last. It was beautiful.
Luke Gregerson is the 4th Astros pitcher, and we're only in the bottom of the 6th inning. Fill-in starter Diamondbacks Diaz went 2 2/3. Torres takes a strike. Dallas Keuchel out in the right field bullpen to warm up for tonight, had to stop and was scratched because of an illness. So that changed everything for the Astros. Chopped out to short. Bregman cutting across, coming over from third, tried to barehand it. It's going to be a base hit. Going to be a real tough play, even if he did grab it. And Torres is 2 out of 3.
And Chesler, he's taken Torres under his wing. As I saw him today in the clubhouse, and Chesler was schooling him. Now, this right here, he might have been able to throw him out on that play. Bregman's, you know, he's got quick hands. If you barehand it cleanly, and Chesler's saying, you got 2 knocks in your first big league game.
Breaking ball, cut on and missed by Whit Merrifield. 0 for 3 so far tonight. Our Sonic Slam inning contestant is Michelle Clerch from Merriam. If the Royals hit a home run out of the park in this inning, Michelle wins $2,100. So we've gone 21 games without a home run in the 6th inning. If the Royals hit a grand slam out of the park, Michelle wins $25 grand from Sonic and the Royals. There goes Torres, and then he stopped. And Merrifield singles to left field anyway. And I'm not sure, Hud, as hard as that ball was hit, even if Torres continued to run, if he would have been able to go to third base anyway.
Yeah, now I'm not so sure because, you know, of course, Reddick has a really good arm. And I doubt that he would have been able to do that. But it's a great takeaway. I mean, that was a quick jump from Torres. And he has just a little bit above average speed. Now, Merrifield has above average speed.
Now let's see what Bonifacio does here. Does he try and shoot one through the right side? Go with that slider the other way?
Oh, with his hands, he's going to hit it where it's pitched. He has the ability to wait. Gregerson, he's 87 and 92. Likes to sink his fastball, 2-seamer. His best pitch is his slider. .6'3", 205. He's a veteran. Padres and A's before Houston. See if he can find a hole here. Stay hot. Nobody out. Keep the line moving.
Here's the slider. 1 ball, 1 strike. It's been a fun night for Royals fans. 7 runs, 11 hits in 5+ innings, and a 5-run lead. 2-1.
I'm sure Dale Swaim, Royals hitting coach, schooled Bonifacio on Gregerson. He said, now look, this guy's a real veteran pitcher. He's going to throw you nothing but sliders. He might mix in a fastball, but he throws sliders to set up his fastball.
2-2. So the trick is, until you have 2 strikes, is to not get him to convince you that he won't throw a fastball, because he probably surprises hitters with his fastball more than anything else.
Right. And so, you know, there's a couple ways you can approach him. You might get belly up on the dish and move up an inch or so, and that pitch that he's putting right off the outside part of the plate, you could put that in play, or lay off of it, back up an inch. But when you move your feet as a hitter, at least what I learned, is if you move it a 1 inch, ½ inch, sometimes even just a very little off, it's uncomfortable, because they're so used to their routine and where they hit, where they stand in the box. So you ask some of them to move, and that's like a foreign language. But look at how wide his base is. He's got a great wide base. Good balance. Trust the hands.
Stayed up. Marisnick gets behind it. Torres goes to the bag, but he's not going anywhere. Marisnick, good fielder, strong arm. So 1 out. Lorenzo Cain with 2 on, 1 out. He has homered tonight. That, of course, came with 2 outs back in the 3rd inning. All 7 runs have scored with 2 outs for the Royals. 2 in the 2nd, 1 in the 3rd, 2 in the 4th, 2 in the 5th.
To me, that was his prettiest swing of the season out of the 55 hits he's got. Now he's hit some homers. He had 3 before his 4th here, but going dead center on a 93-mile-an-hour fastball with an even swing, just a very smooth, comfortable, compact swing, was nice.
There's the fastball, and it had movement to it. So even when he throws the fastball, it's not straight. And late movement. Oh, and 2.
He's good. I'll tell you that first big league slider some of these young players see when they come up here, they're going to tell themselves, wow, this is the big leagues. These guys been making a lot of money up here for a long time using those pitches like that. They're hard to pick up. The rotation looks like a fastball, but you know, by the time you pick it up, it darts away from you.
Tried to surprise him with a fastball, and that is foul. Got it in on him. Two down. Gregerson's one of those guys that gets the job done in whatever role he's given, but teams will think, well, we can do a little bit better than this. You know, he gets an opportunity to fill in when another closer is out. You know, when the Astros went to the playoffs 2 years ago, he was their closer, and he saved 31, but then they went out and they traded for Ken Giles, who struggled early on, so they gave the closer's role back to Gregerson, who saved 15, and then they gave the job back to Giles again this year. There are many guys in the game, HUD. They're not going to dazzle you with their tools, or in the case of a pitcher, their stuff, but you put them on the mound and they get outs. – And this has been a dependable go-to guy for A.J. Hinch in his 3 years as Astros manager.
Yep, for sure. Experience plays a big part in it, and especially being in postseason games. Haas had a nice rip on that slider, stayed in the middle.
One ball, one strike.
He's got some sink to his fastball. Two seam.
Well, the Royals only score runs tonight with 2 outs.
Okay.
2 on, nobody out. Bonifacio flied out. Kane struck out.
And Haas is due. Rare night, he hadn't had a hit yet.
One ball, 2 strikes. Now, there were many matchups with Royals against Gregerson in the playoffs, but the official statistics only count the regular season, and the official statistics say that these two have matched up only 1 time before tonight. But again, that's the regular season. But that 1 time, Hosmer hit a home run. And Gregerson gets the job done. He allows an infield single, then a swinging single, and then retires the next 3 with 2 strikeouts. Time member of our Fox Sports Kansas City crew, a video engineer, so he's responsible for these beautiful high definition pictures going from our cameras to your living rooms. And Don is going to have surgery on Friday, so he is preparing for that. The Royals will begin a 10-day road trip after tomorrow night, so this is our opportunity to tell Don we're thinking about him. We're wishing him the best, and we look forward to seeing him when we get back from the road trip.
Way to go, Don. You're tough.
Hey!
Second inning for Mike Minor. Jake Marisnick, number 9 hitter, is 0 for 2. Almost got him on the foot. That is the definition of a back foot slider.
I'll see.
Vargas went 5, allowed 2 runs. Minor had a 3-up, 3-down 6th inning, and now a line drive is caught by Escobar, who tumbles onto the outfield grass.
All hum, all routine for Esky. That ball was spanked. Beautiful play. That a way to help him out. keep those Astros off the base, because you never know when they're going to put one over the fence. It's a powerful hitting team. Solo shots usually don't hurt you.
Line to right field, and Bonifacio won't get there. George Springer has a 1-out double and a 12-game hitting streak.
Escobar doesn't make that play, they might have got a run there. Straight out over the middle.
And now Minor gets a left-hand batter in Josh Reddick. Strike on Reddick. He is 1 for 3. These are not reverse splits. Minor, a left-hander, tough, and then some on left-hand batters. That is to the gap in right center field. Bonifacio's there.
Off the bat, that looked like that was falling down for sure, but he didn't really barrel it to get the backspin on it to where it carried, but Bonifacio caught up to it. He had a great jump, and you know, if you're going to make a play like that, you got to get a good angle on your takeoff, and he ran it down. Very nice.
So Springer at second base with 2 down, and now Jose Altuve. Hey! 0-1. Altuve back in the first inning, bunted for a base hit, and Hosmer fielded the bunt and tagged him out, but that has been scored a sacrifice. So instead of 1 for 3, 1 for 2 with a sacrifice.
Okay.
What a country.
It's a beautiful thing. Good for the batting average.
Josh Reddick at first base with 1 out in the first inning, and the Astros were playing for 1 run. You buying that?
No, and that's why I was a little shocked. I think Altuve had it in his mind before the game when he watched Vargas on the video. He said, I can get on base with this guy, and that's all he was trying to do, get on base and load him up, really. I mean, load up the bases. I don't think he had sacrifice intention at all. I think he was going for a base hit all the way. It just didn't go right. Official score, that's his job to put down what he thinks is necessary.
And there was 1 out.
Yeah.
You're going to ask a guy with a 912 OPS with a runner at first and 1 out to sacrifice.
No, that's why I said thank you when he did that.
No, but that's how it's scored. Good spot. 3-2. Vargas and Minor have done an excellent job tonight pitching the Astros inside.
And the reason you do that is that opens up the outside part of the plate, and that gets in the hitter's mind inside. Didn't want to do that.
Refreshing saves from Price Chopper and Aquafina. Sign up at mypricechopper.com to save on Aquafina when the Royals get a save. It's a non-save situation right now, but Peter Moylan's going to be asked to save this inning. Astros have 2 on, 2 out. Carlos Correa coming up. Peter Moylan jogging in. Have 2 on, 2 out. RBI Baseball 2017 returns with fast-paced pick-up and play MLB action on consoles and mobile. RBI Baseball is packed with your favorite teams, players, ballparks, and more. Learn more at RBIGame.com and get RBI Baseball today for Xbox One and PlayStation 4. Peter Moylan has inherited 17 runners this year, and only 3 have come around to score.
He's done a very nice job, especially against right-handers, and that's exactly what he's in here for. Correa got 2 outs. He's only given up a 207 average to righties. Sinker, slider are his 2 pitches. Pretty good movement there. Low 90s. That's a nice one. It had a little bit of late running action. Couple different sliders. He'll start one at the batter and cross the plate for a strike, and he'll start one middle to finish off the plate.
Ball outside.
1-1 on Correa. He batted with a runner at second, 2 down in the first inning and struck out. 2 on, 1 out in the 5th and popped out. And now he has 2 on, 2 out in the 7th. Royals lead by 5, and the Astros are running out of outs. Way outside, 2 balls, 1 strike.
For Moylan's success against righties, he'll use that sinker to come in to set up a way, but now he's got to get in the strike zone somewhere. Doesn't have to, but
2-2.
there it is. Look at that. Very good spot. Down low. Excellent job. Little movement. You can see it with our slow motion camera. A little late life to that 2-seamer.
Struck him out.
Oh. Boy. That was beautiful, Moylan. Oh.
Take a look at our T-Mobile Unlimited Baseball break. The Indians left Kauffman Stadium. Royals took 2 out of 3. They went to Colorado and they were swept. Nolan Arenado 3 for 5 with a double, a triple, 3 runs driven in. Manny Machado got a little lesson in karma today against the Pirates. And last year's Cy Young winner Rick Porcello drops to 3-8 after an 8-0 loss to the Yankees. Manny Machado spiked on the wrist on a slide from Andrew McCutchen in a game with the Pirates. And remember, it was a news-making slide for Machado on the Red Sox Dustin Pedroia that spiked the Red Sox second baseman and knocked him out.
Sometimes what goes around comes around. Ooh. Gregerson looks good tonight. Man, he's got some movement on his sinker. That two-seamer, like you, first fastball, you made a comment. I said, man, that thing is moving. If you have east and west movement over that plate, that's tough for hitters to square that up.
Two hits and 2 runs scored for Salvador Perez. He struck out in the 5th inning, snapping base hits in 5 consecutive plate appearances for him. Still alive, 1-2.
I don't know about you, but I sure do like Ned's new reshuffled lineup. It looks really good and solid in the middle. Merrifield, Bonifacio, Kane, Hosmer, Perez, Moose. You know, that middle is really packed.
Still 1-2.
96, please.
Salvi just trying to slap that slider in right field. Here's box score. Look at the hits down at the bottom. Cuthbert, Escobar, Torres.
Fouled away again. Salvi realizing how tough Gregerson is tonight. He had a big smile on his face, and he was able to just make contact and foul it away. Like, all right, you got me. You made me look bad, but I made contact.
He's just going to put it a little further out there now. Watch this. You give him anything over the middle of the plate, oh, they're going to come in. Ooh. Got him. Good pitch.
1 away. All right, you got me. He's talking to Gregerson. Gregerson, we remember him mostly with the Astros, but he was on the 2014 A's, so he's seen what Salvi can do with a slider down and out of the strike zone. Yeah, you're not going to do that to me.
But had that pitch that he got Salvi out on that inside sinker, had he missed with that over the plate, Salvi would have probably hit a homer off of it. But it was a great spot. He put it in a perfect spot. Gregerson is on his game tonight. Some of the other relievers haven't been.
Well, he looks like the same Luke Gregerson to me tonight.
Sure does.
So the 5.32 ERA coming into tonight doesn't make sense. Correa on the right side of second base, so that's 6-3. 2 down. Throw all those sliders and you throw the sinking fastball that you're talking about without great velocity, you are prone to the home run. And if you look at his line category by category, one number that jumps right out in front of you: 5 home runs in 23 innings.
Yep. Yeah, but he's not missing tonight.
Slider for strike to Chesler Cuthbert. 2 hits and 3 driven in tonight. Oh, and 2. You know, Chesler for first 15 games was hitting 119 and kind of doing what you'd expect a young player to do who's not playing every day now, is that when he does get an opportunity to play, giving a little too much effort, swinging a little harder, maybe throwing a little harder on ground balls to third. And now in his last 11 games, he's looking a lot like he did all of last year.
Yeah, it's hard. It's a hard adjustment, especially for a guy who's used to playing every day. But he has talent. He has big time talent. Great throwing arm, good range at third, coming in on balls, and then his hands are soft, and it's related right to his bat.
3 up, 3 down against Gregerson in the bottom of the 7th.
Cycle. He got scratched from his start. Pitcher with the best ERA in the American League. What a break the Royals got there. Chester said, okay, he busted him. Hit a nice still double. Escobar, he singled. Locane leaned back and said, I'm going to hit my 4th dead center, 410. And then 4th inning, Escobar got his single. Torres, first big league knock down the right field line. Knocked in his first run, tipped his cap. 5th inning, Cuthbert with some beautiful hitting there. All runs have been scored with 2 outs. Kane is safe.
So we welcome Ramon Torres to the Royals, and we welcome back Scott Alexander, back from the disabled list. And he was really pitching well when he went down with a hamstring injury. 10 games and a 1.26 ERA.
You have only 8 strikeouts and 14 in the 3rd innings, but look, who cares? He's got a bowling ball sinker. You don't have to strike anybody out. He uses the best fielding percentage defense in the world. The Royals. Perfect combination here.
One and one on Beltran. Our sprint trivia question for tonight: name the 3 former Royals to hit 20 or more home runs in a season for 5 or more teams.
Really? Wow. How are we supposed to get that one? 5 teams?
3 former Royals who have hit 20 or more home runs in a season for 5+ teams.
Oh, well, there's one. Appreciate that.
And there's also 1 out. So 2 more. I think you already mentioned one the other night. Remember the switch hitter?
Chili Davis.
No.
How about Jermaine Dye? Kirk Gibson. How about Gary Gaetti?
Brian McCann has seen nothing but lefties tonight. He was 2 for 2 against Vargas. Really the only problem for Vargas tonight was McCann. He homered in the 2nd inning and then drove in a run with a single in the 4th. Mike Minor struck him out in the 6th, and now he faces Alexander. And he goes the other way.
He's hot. That's all there is to it. How about Dean Palmer? Did I say him?
You did now.
Rhino, you're going to have to help, man. I'm losing. I'm treading water.
All right, I just got a text from Joel. Joel's taking credit for this question, by the way, and Joel says all played here during your time. So from 1999 until now. One of the guys did it for 6 teams. Jose Guillen.
Ding, 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 ding. How did you get it on your first guess? I've thrown 5 guys out there. I thought we're all good. But hang with them. So we need 1 more.
Before Alexander went on the disabled list, he had 6 consecutive scoreless outings, and he was really coming into his own, doing a lot of that. Good sinkers get ground balls. Great sinkers end up down around the feet of the hitter.
Oof, painful for a hitter. He fouled that off the back leg with no protection. 80% ground balls. So if you're a worm here at the K, you better go up underneath that dirt.
Now we'll see what kind of fielder he is. Out at first base. Good play.
What a nice transfer from glove to hand. Quick, that's what got it. Positioning your body on a play like that for a left-hander is really essential. And he's fielded a lot of these because the guys hit the top. Watch him. See, he's opened up his front side. He's able to swing his right leg around. Timely. Look at Haas, just making sure to catch it.
80% ground ball is remarkable even without any perspective, but here is some perspective. Royals were supposed to see Dallas Keuchel tonight. He has the highest percentage of ground balls. Now he's pitched a lot more innings than Alexander has. He'll get you 68% as Bregman beats out a ground ball for a base hit. Keuchel gets 68% ground balls. Alexander 80%.
That's amazing. Now there was a one there, and he just outran this one. That's all you can do.
Two on, 2 out to Marisnick. 0 for 3, but he has been victimized by 2 good defensive plays. A running play in left by Merrifield and a diving play at short by Escobar. And Alexander misses outside, ball 1. How about Reggie Sanders? Can't take credit for it.
Ding, ding, ding.
Yep.
It's over.
More than one person texted that name, that suggestion. Good to see Reggie back in the Royals organization.
It is. It's good to see him, period. I was shocked to see him in spring training. You know, the first time I saw him, I told him, the last time I saw you, there was a A huge Scott Spezio home run that went over your head down the right field line that gave the Royals the lead in the World Series. Oh,
off of Torres' glove. And now the Astros score a 2-out run. It is 7-3.
Torres almost got to it. No, it was the Angels, excuse me. But there it is. Good job, Rhino. I threw 5 names out there and didn't get a one. Way to go.
6 different teams.
Yeah, anyway, Sanders, he was the outfielder for the Giants. And they were hitting him in the back with those little thunder sticks, you know, those little balloon type things.
Well, Dave Island out to have a chat with Alexander. Really hasn't pitched bad, but now has to be careful with some big bats coming up. Reggie only played with the Royals for a short time, but he hit an important milestone here in KC. I think it was in 2006, and he became a member of the 300-300 club with the Royals. He had already accomplished the 300 stolen bases part of it, but he hit the 300th home run.
Press.
Outside to Springer. Tying run is on deck.
Marisnik had the right idea on that base hit to the opposite field. Sinker ballers like Alexander that throw 80% ground balls are getting the right-handed hitters to swing on top of the ball and pull it. But if you stay inside the ball with your bottom hand, you try to shoot to the right field, it keeps you away from rolling over. Good swing he had.
The Astros have hit 1 home run tonight. It was a solo home run, but they lead the league with 94. And now 3-0. And as Hud said a couple of innings ago, no lead is safe against a team like the Houston Astros. Bases loaded, 2 down.
Little rusty. Ned's had enough. That one play, you know, if they had thrown out Bregman, they'd be out of it, but it didn't work.
So Josh Reddick is coming up with the bases loaded, 2 down, representing the potential tying run. Pat on the back. Scott is clearly frustrated. That's the key guy in the inning right there, Bregman. With 2 on and 1 out, Bregman just topped one to third base. didn't hit it hard. He got a ground ball, but he beat it out. Then Marisnick singled in a run. Springer walked, and now they're loaded up. Josh Reddick against Soria.
Soria's got 4. Fastball, slider, slow, big curve, changeup, and actually he has 5 pitches. A split finger. Reddick's seen him before. 2 hits were a double and a homer. Don't want to see either one of those here. First swing there tells me he's trying to just lay it out there and get some runs. Not trying to go for it all here.
Backhanded by Salvi. 1 ball, 1 strike. Well, Bregman at third. Reached with an infield single. Marisnick at second base. He singled in McCann. And then Springer just reached on a 4-pitch walk.
Astros are hitting .347 as a team with them loaded. 2 slams they've hit this year.
On the ground to Escobar, and it's off his glove. 2-run score. It is 7-5.
Sometimes when you backhand, the ball will kick up, and there's not a lot of room for error when your gloves turn to the backhand side. And it just caught him off the heel. Just his 4th error.
May have been screened somewhat by the runner going second to third. Maybe didn't get a really good long look at it.
Yep, that happens too.
So the tying runs at first base. So Escobar's error allows 2 to score. He's also driven in 2 tonight. So 2 ground balls that could have ended the inning. One resulted in a chopped infield single by Bregman against Alexander, and now Reddick reaching on the air. Outside, 1-1 on Altuve.
Altuve was jumping out of the way on that one.
That has been a friendly part of the strike zone or just off the strike zone for both sides tonight.
Split finger. Salvi made it look good.
Saved by Salvi. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Line foul over near the dugout suite. So the lead was 5 when the inning began. Now it's 2.
Hold him down. Little pop up. Maybe a little routine ground ball right at somebody. Soria has some pitches here. We'll see what he uses. Slow curve. If he throws it, keep it down. All right.
It was supposed to be an easy night for the Astros last night with a big lead. It didn't turn out that way, and tonight looked like it was going to be an easy night, or at least an easier night for the Royals, and now the Astros are making it tense in the later innings. Grounded to Cuthbert. He will run to the bag and beat Springer. So the Royals lead is 2. As the Astros strand 2 in the 8th inning, but they get 3. The error was big. 7-5 KC. Inning, 1 earned, and the Royals still lead by 2 to the bottom of the 8th inning. Our University of Kansas Health System injury report update. Nate Carnes has been on the disabled list since May 24th. At the time, it seemed minor. He had some nerve irritation in his right forearm. No timetable on when he will return. He did throw on flat ground today in front of the Royals training staff, so he's making that progress. And he was really pitching well when he went down. Ken Giles, who had a blown save and a loss last night, gets the ball back in a non-save situation. So A.J. Hinch, after his closer blows his 2nd save of the year, gives him the ball the very next night.
Yep, a lot of managers like to do that. Ned included. Fastball slider.
Reddick waits in left field, brings it down with 2 hands. Eske is 2 for 4. He's driven in 2. And he also committed the fielding error in the top of the 8th inning, which led to 2 more runs. Here's Ramon Torres. 2 hits in his first big league game, an RBI double and an infield single. Hey! 98 with a fastball, 0-1.
Mid to upper.
Sharply hit to Altuve, who goes down to a knee. 2 outs in the bottom of the 8th.
I like how he runs. He's quick.
In the ninth, the Astros will have Correa, Beltran, and McCann against Kelvin Herrera. Fastball outside to Witt. 1 for 4 tonight. One of his outs was a line out to the warning track in right field. He is playing in left field. Alex Gordon and Brandon Moss were not in the lineup when Dallas Keuchel was supposed to pitch, and when he was scratched, Ned Yost stayed with the same lineup, and that original lineup has produced 7 runs on 11 hits. Tonight, Giles gets Merrifield. Last night, Merrifield got Giles with a 2-out, 3-run double to the 9th inning. Royals lead 7-5.
Hang on for the win. Joel Goldberg back at Kauffman Stadium. Jeff Montgomery and I with Boulevard Royals Live coming up. We thought this would be one of the best pitching matchups of the year, but that marquee matchup was foiled. We'll talk about that. Hear from Ned Yost and the players about the last-minute change. No Dallas Keuchel. Plus a 2-out story tonight. Lots of 2-out runs for the Royals. Now they've got to hold on. We've got plenty of reaction coming up, Ryan, on Boulevard Royals Live.
Okay, Joel. Well, Salvador Perez sitting on the bench for the top of the 9th inning. Drew Butera will take over, and he'll catch Kelvin Herrera, another cleanly shaven Royal. Kelvin Herrera, 12 out of 14 in save opportunities this year. One of those blown saves was against the Astros in the first week of the season.
That's right. He's going to have to be careful of the location, especially where he is in the lineup.
Look at all these guys all cleaned up.
Yeah, well, summer's getting ready to kick in. Of course, it won't kick in probably till they get back here to the K. West Coast trip will be cool, like it always is. But fastball, upper 90s, changeup, upper 80s. The slider, sometimes, if it's not located, has been one of the problems he's had. Of the 6 home runs he's given up, 3 of those were on his slider, and that's a pitch he brought in last year.
Correa's had chances to drive in runs all night, and he's 0 for 4 with 2 strikeouts. Beltran next, then McCann. 0-2.
That's right. Change up at 91. I'll go 88 to 90, 91 sometimes.
To add to your point, Hud, of the 6 home runs Herrera has allowed, you said 3 on sliders, 2 on changeups, so he's only been beaten with his fastball for a long ball 1 time, and I think that was Carlos Santana.
And that's his best pitch. That's what you want to throw in there.
So on one hand you can say, all right, the slider and the changeup have hurt him, but he's thrown a lot of sliders. He's also thrown a lot of changeups successfully and done exactly what he wanted to do with those pitches.
Yeah, you just have to be careful with the location. That's everything, like any other pitcher, especially to close the game down. Oh yeah, that heater, it's tough, man. It's straight, but it's firm.
Is it moving more this year?
Looks like it might. That had some hair on it. Correa, you got to go. Cheese at the knees.
So the tying run remains on deck. Beltran fouls it away.
There's a lot of guys that played in their 40s that couldn't get around on a heater at that time in their career, and Beltran's not one of them. Got to be careful. He's short with his swing, compact. Remember, he likes the ball up, but Herrera, at that velocity with that fastball, he can get away with one above the belt. I don't know if he can top hand that one. Nope.
No messing around tonight.
Nope, and not too many people can get their top hand on top of that. When I say top hand, that means the top of the bat. Good pitch.
The Houston Astros arrived with a 10-game winning streak. They extended it to 11 after beating the Royals on Monday. The Royals snapped that last night. The Astros have won 5 consecutive road series. The Royals will earn at least a split if they can hang on tonight. And the Astros have scored 6 or more runs in 9 straight games. They have 5. There's a hard slider low. That's a good spot. 1-0 on McCann. And if the Royals win tonight, they would win the season series from the Astros. Stroke to right center field and down. So they're still breathing. So McCann's at first base with 2 down. Well, HUD to end the bottom of the 8th inning. Ken Giles got another shot at Whit Merrifield. Whit hit that 3-run double last night, so he won the rematch. Now another rematch. Remember, Gurriel hit a 3-run home run against Herrera on Monday night
on a spinning slider. Be really careful with him. He's an excellent breaking ball hitter. I wouldn't throw him anything soft. That pitch that McCann hit, changeup. It was off the plate. Credit McCann because he's firecracker hot.
McCann runs. 1 ball and 1 strike. Defensive indifference. They were not holding him at first base. No stolen base. One and 2. It was a 4-3 game in the 9th inning on Monday night. The Royals were down 4-0. They just kept chipping away. And then Gurriel hit the 3-run home run, making it 7-3. nasty biting fastball in on Gurriel. So Herrera, with the tying run at the plate, strikes out Gurriel and strikes out the side.
El Toro! Ole! All right. They got their 2 games. And I said when this 4-game series started, if they can somehow find a way to get 2 out of these 4, it'll be a success. Now you go for the series. Way to go, young Ramon Torres. You checked into the big leagues in nice fashion. Loved it. Hopefully we'll see if Joe might have him on. I don't know. Let's see. It's Joe's choice. But what a game.
Don't put him on the spot or anything.
Yeah. Sorry, Joe.
Here's our Honda play of the game. We go back to the bottom of the 5th inning, and Chesler Cuthbert with 2 down. Singled in Bonifacio and Kane. The Royals scored 7 runs tonight, all with 2 outs. Cuthbert drove in 3. So the Royals have taken the season series against the Astros 4 games to 2 with 1 more game to go. Let's go down to the field, and here is Joel.
All right, thank you very much, guys. And what a night for Chesler Cuthbert. Season high 3 RBIs. I'll ask you about that in a minute, but I just want to know what the thought was in the dugout. You're getting ready for one of the best pitchers in baseball in Keuchel, and then a last-minute change. What were you thinking?
Well, I came out here well prepared, and like when I find out like he's not pitching, I decided to keep just try to do good in front of all the best fans in the major league right now.
So just keep that same approach and get out there. How about for you personally? I know it was a rough start, and you're getting adjusted to a new role, but you're really hitting right now. What's been the difference?
I just try to keep working hard, and just try to get better, and just try to help the team to get a win. And like every time I have my opportunity, I just try to do just to help the team win.
How much did last night help to be able to come back, and now you're here tonight with even more offense? What's the confidence like for this offense right now?
I think we're doing a good job, like Wade, Moose, Huss, everybody, Sal, King, everyone, Bonifacio, everybody doing a really good job. Also the starting pitcher, doing a really great job, so keep us there to win more games.
Everybody doing a great job, and hey, you're a hot hitter with that new haircut, so keep it nice and tight.
Thank you.
Chesler Cuthbert, what a job by him. He's free of the Salvi splash, guys, because Salvi already inside, but hey, great win for the guys. And hey, Hud, sorry I didn't get the guy you wanted.
No, hey.